I think we just feel very lucky to be a part of the Jabson family. We never intended to be a Jabson family, but
That's just how life ended up for the Murayama family.
as it turns out, I think the environment they provided is such a good one that it was hard to not be part of this Jabson family.
Medicine is in their blood. Dad Kenrick is a 1985 Jabson grad and the chair of the Department of Surgery. Mom Norma is the president of the Friends of the Medical School. Their son Matthew is a family medicine resident in Riverside, California. Michael is a 2018 Jabson grad practicing pediatrics, and the youngest is Sarah. She graduates from Jabson this month and is going into OBGYN.
I always get asked, how did we do it that all our kids are going to be our physicians? And I always tell people, because I think they think we are tiger parents.
But the kids will be the first to tell you that's not the case.
They were never those kind of overbearing, you have to go into medicine parents. They actually were really hands-off. I think from a young age, I always saw my dad in the hospital, and my mom was a former nurse, and so healthcare was always kind of in the background in our family.
He certainly set a great example for us. He did a really good job of balancing patient care and family time, which certainly helped. But when we were growing up, we really never thought of him as this amazing surgeon, or really as a surgeon at all. He was just dad.
We probably as kids underestimated kind of how great he was in his career at the time. I think now that we're older, we realize all that he's accomplished. I think growing up, though, he was very humble about it, and we really just saw how much he cared about his patients and about his career, and so I think what we saw was the passion.
Seeing Dad's passion made a strong impression because Michael didn't set out to be a doctor.
I had tried out a bunch of other things kind of related to patient care, but ultimately it was medicine that really kind of fulfilled what I was looking for.
The same could be said for Matthew, who spent a year in marketing before deciding to become a physician. But for Sarah, it may have been her destiny.
Sarah Murayama, close by her father, Dr. Kenrick Murayama.
When I was younger, I used to say I wanted to be a pediatric oncologist, which I don't even know how I knew what that was.
While their Jabson journeys were inspired by their dad, Kenrick says his dream back in the 80s nearly didn't get off the ground.
I did not get into medical school the first time I applied. Jabson didn't even offer me an interview, I think, the first time I applied.
But he didn't give up. He applied again, and this time, Jabson offered an interview. The rest was history.
Without Jabson, I wouldn't be where I am today. I wouldn't have been able to, build the things for our family we have without Jabson. So I always feel a debt of gratitude to the school. Hopefully I've made them proud that, they gave me a chance to become a physician. But yeah, without Jabson, I would definitely, I was all ready to apply to go be a chef.
His patients are grateful his precision is being practiced in the OR. But the Murayama family learned the life of a surgeon is demanding.
We have put our kids through the sort of military drill here. We moved around, and when I moved back in 2015, Michael was actually a first-year medical student, but Sarah was a senior in Philadelphia in college, so Norma stayed in Philadelphia with Sarah, and I came home, and Michael and I lived with my mom.
When Kenrick returned to Hawaii, he came back to care for his mother, but also to give back to his alma mater.
Dean Hedges decided, of all the people he was contemplating, that he would offer me the position, and I don't think I have any regrets about making the move home when we did.
Norma got involved too. In her role as president of the Friends of the Medical School, she learned about how the students are trained to be the future physicians of Hawaii.
It's also shown me the support that many community leaders or the community outside gives to Jabson to educate students.
Having that support system at home is really nice, knowing that, you can kind of just unload to someone who will really understand what you've gone through and probably has also gone through something very similar. I think both our mom and dad have been through it all through the years, and so it's really nice to have that outlet at home.
The Jabson Kenrick attended in the 80s is a bit different now.
I think the biggest changes are, I think, the quality of the education and, more importantly, the quality of the students. I'm not just saying that because my kids went here, but the quality of the students has increased tremendously. You know, I tell people often that if I were to apply now, I would not get into this medical school. It's just become so much more competitive.
Decades have brought positive change, but many values remain firm.
Jabson's done a pretty good job of keeping focused on what their original mission was, is to provide education for people to be healthcare providers in this state.
I had a great time at Jabsom. I think it did foster a really good learning environment. It fosters a sense of independent learning. I really only have positive things to say about my experience here.
I would say very much the same. I think Jabsom does a really good job of creating kind of like a family within the medical school. They really, kind of build that community between the students and even the faculty and the preceptors out in the community. So I've loved my time here. I think it really helps you to become that independent thinker, like you were saying, and really prepares us well for the clinical settings ahead.